Hello, everybody, and welcome to DK and the Hawk. We're live on a beautiful Sunday, and before we get everything going, we're going to do a little tribute to my dog Gracie. We all met her, we all saw her. So I'm gonna play a little tune with my harmonica. Hold on a second. She was a great girl. We all missed her. So grab your beers. Let's do a tribute. We'll give a minute of silence for her. And when it's ready to go, I'll let the horn go. We miss her.
Yeah.
She went to a great place. So, moving on, let's talk about the epic, the unphenomenal collapse of the Toronto Maple Leafs after 2 nights ago, down 3-0, came back, lost in overtime. Last night, down 2-0, tied it up, losing overtime. Carey Price, MVP of the playoffs right now, winning those games for his team. Here we go, boys. What do you guys think?
Well, to be honest, I thought the Leafs were going to take it last night. We're watching the game, and especially when Habs gave up that 2-goal lead again. I thought it was going to be it, but now Game 7, anything can happen. First Game 7 between Canadian teams since 2004, so should be good Game 7. I still think the Leafs are probably going to take it, but it'd be great to see Montreal and face off against Winnipeg. What do you think, GD Special?
Okay, so in my opinion, they haven't played for 2 years, so there's no history. So all we have is what we've got, and I think Hughes and Marner will pull it out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. But Carey Price, he could steal another one. So I hope we see it.
Yeah, and 2,500 fans in the stands were treated to a hell of a game last night. I mean, that place was louder than Boston was, and Boston had 17,000 fans in the stands. So kudos to the Canadian fans for coming out, doing what you had to do, showing that Canada still represents the best game in the world, representing. And I'll tell you, man, Game 7, it's going to be a beauty. And we're going to laugh when the Leafs get raked away to the side once again in sprint.
That'd be good to see.
Oh,
good to see. Yeah.
Well, see, Tavares.
All right, so let's
hurt them.
Yeah, I think if we're gonna just focus at the beginning here on that one series, that series would have been over without the injury to Tavares. Game 1, Montreal won that game, and it looked like the Leafs were shell shocked watching their captain get carried off there. So I honestly think that was a huge turning point, and then Leafs kind of rallied around his injury, winning 3 straight, and now Montreal has won 2 in overtime. So anything can happen. Game 7. Looking forward to it tomorrow night.
Yep.
But
I think
let's move on to yeah.
Hey man, we all love a Game 7, and you know what? Hockey is now doing what basketball's done. Oh, we're just going to keep on playing playoff games while the other series isn't even done yet. Like, come on, man.
I don't know.
You know, put Game 7 on tonight. But tomorrow night, Game 7.
Yep.
You know, that's all what we live for. And the first round is the best round there is in hockey. You got teams who aren't even supposed to be there competing. So
Yeah, it sure would be nice
Yeah.
to see 20,000 fans in the stands, though.
Yes.
Yep.
Totally agree with that. I'm hoping that if Montreal can get past Toronto, we can get more fans in the Bell Center. That was great to see them. I had like tear in my eye when they're playing the song when Montreal comes out. Carey Price came out of the bench there and see the towels waving, even though it was only 2,500. It was still really cool
That
to
was
see.
good.
And then the fans singing the anthem in French. That was just wonderful to see. So super pumped for that. Let's recap the first round. And probably the surprise of the first round, I'd say Edmonton getting swept. I know we all called it because we like to harass the Oiler fans,
Hold on.
but that was really surprising. Where you
It
go?
was surprising.
Get
It was
your
surprising.
Bruins.
And you know what? Look at that, Edmonton. I mean, have you seen this broom? Man, you got swept.
Yeah.
Did you guys even show up for 3 games? You were in overtime, man. You got the best player in the world. Oh, that's right. You got a crappy goaltender and no defense. And you know what? All the other fans wanted the Jets. They're like, oh, we'll beat the Jets, man. We don't want to play Montreal. We don't want to play Toronto. We want to play the Jets. Well, how did that happen? You know what? You guys got swept out of the building. Out of the playoffs. Good for you guys. That's why you
The
never
epic
get too
rant is
excited about
early
who you're
this
going to
week.
play. So there you go.
Yeah,
Loving
totally.
it. Loving the Jets sweeping the Oilers.
Yeah, but if you look at that series, if you look at it, it's 3 overtime games. It could have gone either way. Mike Smith played good enough to win a few of those games, but that's just the way it goes. I feel like Edmonton's depth was totally tested in this series. You had 3 or 4 D playing the whole game. McDavid and Draisaitl playing 40 minutes. Like you're never gonna win when you have a team like that. You gotta have depth. So whatever. Oilers are out first round. Good to see.
And you know what? Mike Smith, I'll tell you what, man. Mike Smith, for being, 49 years old or 55 years old or how old he is, man, that guy plays his ass off when it comes down to playoff hockey. I mean, he did it for the Flames a few years ago. He was a guy that was leading the – I mean, no wonder he gets mad. I mean, mad Mike Smith, I don't blame him, man. The guy gave it his all. The guy's making saves out of nowhere.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's not fair to him. And you know what? The Oilers, again, tomorrow night when the Leafs collapse, that will be the epic collapse of the playoffs. But the Oilers right behind. And I got something else to rant
what
about.
do you think?
Because, you know what? Hold on a second. For all the people who want to do racial slurs to Ethan Bear and like that is crap. You know what? He made a mistake. He's a young player. And now you're going to blast them on social media and saying all the stuff that they did? That is crap. And you know what? We at this show, we do not support that stuff. Good for you, Ethan Bear, standing up, saying, you know what? This is what I'm doing for. Right? I'll stand up. And good for his teammates and good for the league for standing up and standing behind them. Because we don't support that at all. And those aren't Oilers fans. I'll tell you that right now. Not Oiler fans.
No. There's a bunch of Oiler fans that went to Rogers Place yesterday and kind of a rally to support him on those online attacks. So no place for that. But GD, what do you think of Winnipeg and their win over Edmonton?
Well, the only question I have is I thought the Oilers were just an offensive team, and defense usually wins championships. So my question is, how good is Winnipeg? And I don't really know the answer to that. I guess we'll find out in the next series. But I don't think Winnipeg, I think we're putting Winnipeg on a level they don't belong just because they beat the Oilers. And, it's easy to shut down an offensive team, especially when it's a one-line team. So I don't know how good Winnipeg is, but they look good. But they have to prove more yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like they had a good defensive game plan for um, McDavid and Draisaitl, and I think if Toronto does move ahead, they can play that same defensive style and stop Toronto. I feel like Montreal would actually be a tougher matchup for Winnipeg. So we'll see what happens, and yeah, looking forward to seeing the North Division semifinal and see who moves on. Um, Colorado looked dominant in their wins over the Blues. They look like the best team going forward, and the next great series coming up, Vegas and Colorado, like most of us predicted, looks really good. I got Colorado to win the cup this year, and my co-host has Vegas, so we'll see how it plays out. Um, so Vegas, they took down Minnesota in 7 games. That was very surprising. I thought Vegas would win in a lot quicker fashion than that. What do you guys think of Minnesota and how they performed in round one? Just falling a little short in game 7.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I know Vegas been hit kind of with the COVID and stuff like that, but I mean, Minnesota played them hard all year. I think I predicted 6 games that Vegas would win. It went to 7, and now they're off and running. They do have the best goaltending tandem in the league, and I mean, it was. I'll tell you what, man. If Minnesota would have won, that would have been a surprise of the playoffs. Vegas is prime, pumped, ready to go. And this series coming up, I think we're all going to watch it. It's going to be an epic series, and it's going 7 games
today.
But I'm going with Vegas.
Well, we'll wait to do our predictions for round 2 once we get through this round 1 recap. But yeah, I assuming you're going Vegas with your Stanley Cup pick. GD, what do you think of that first round? Did you watch any of the Minnesota?
I think the exact my friend Jeff there, I agree with him entirely except for the outcome of game 7. I believe Colorado will win that game 7, but it's going to be a great series.
Yeah, we're all like before the playoffs started, and you look at the way that it was set up. We all looked at that round 2 matchup. We'll go back to Pittsburgh and Islanders. I was wrong about this one. The Hawk picked the Islanders. I kind of told him you're out to lunch here, buddy. You got Sid and the boys. I had Pittsburgh going to the finals. They get bounced in 6 games. Islanders look pretty good. They did. I didn't see much of the game last night, but they did lose game 1 to Boston. What did you guys think of the Islanders Pittsburgh series?
Well, they shut down the one player you had to shut down was Crosby. And I think Pollock there, an old Calgary Flame, shut him down, played hard against him. And, I mean, it's a young team. It's a young team that's got fight. And, yeah, they got beat last night by the Bruins, right, 5-2. But, hey, like the NHL, we like to jump into things before the series is over. So, you know what? Islanders are going to take this one down. And this one's also going 7 games. Bruins don't know what they're in for. And you know what? They're in for a rough, tough series. And you know what? Loving it.
I agree.
You agree?
I got Islanders.
I'll take Boston in 6 games. I think Boston.
Oh, no.
Boston's they got too much depth. Their goaltending's pretty good. They're getting goals from their D. I don't think Islanders can match with Boston's skill. So I'll take Boston in 6.
Oh.
Let's move on to one of the best series. I don't know if anyone watched it, but it was really good hockey. Tampa Bay versus Florida. I was right in this disagreement we had in our last episode, where the Hawk took the Panthers. I took the Lightning. The Lightning prevail. They just looked like the better team in most of the games, and Florida couldn't figure out which goalie to use. So when you have that issues in net, you never know what's going to happen. So you got Tampa Bay moving ahead and facing off against Carolina. That's this afternoon. Carolina also They look pretty good against Nashville. Nashville got a couple games at home there, but so what do you guys think of those two series? Carolina, Nashville, Tampa, Florida.
I mean,
Well, so I
the Battle of
completely
Florida,
agree with that.
really, man. Yep. But you know what? The Battle of Florida, like I said, really, I mean, it was a bruising, tough series. Tampa, the Stanley Cup champs. I was wrong on that series. Congratulations on Tampa moving on. You know, I thought Florida played tough. They played hard. Young team, right? And I'll say one thing, Tampa. I don't want to see no more videos of you guys telling a 11-year-old kid to take off their jersey in the front row or wherever they're sitting in the lower bowl. That is garbage in today's game. You know, let them wear whatever it is. If you're that scared of a kid wearing a Panthers jersey and you have to sit there and tell them to remove it, man, you guys got problems. And for that one, karma's going to get you. The Canes are going to take you guys down in 6 games.
Oh man,
I can't get
What do
as
you think,
emotional as our Jeff, but I just think Tampa's a complete team. I think they're gonna be very hard to beat, and they've got every position covered. They're very good, and I can't see them losing until they get to the final.
we agree there. I got Tampa in 5 games. Vasilevsky's he's one of the best in the league. You got Hedman and Stamkos, Kucherov. If you put that team on the power play, you're in trouble. So yeah, I got Tampa in that series coming up.
The winds are blowing, man. The winds are
what we
blowing. They're
missed here.
coming right from the ocean. So they're gonna blow those lightning players away.
All right. The last series that I don't think we've touched on is the Bruins and the Capitals. I feel like Boston just overmatched them. Washington didn't have the depth to play. And yeah, so what did you guys think of that series? I thought Boston kind of dominated and they looked pretty good.
Well, I think
You know what?
what we saw was Washington's fragile. And when they lost their second line center, when they lost him, it was over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
It was the one series we're looking forward to, and it was the dud of the first round. That is the Hawks' dud of the first round was the Caps Bruins series. And Ovechkin, you can go golf now. You can do whatever you need to do. The Caps gone. The dynasty's over in Washington. I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs next year. Bold prediction number 1 on today's show.
Well, Ovechkin is a free agent coming up, and he didn't look too happy in his after season media stuff. He was yelling at his teammates in game 3, yelling at his goalie. So I'd like to see if he tests free agency and decides to move on and play somewhere else.
Maybe
it'd be nice
maybe
to see
he'll
him
go to
stick with the team.
Toronto. See, maybe Ovechkin will go
can't
to
afford
Toronto for another epic collapse next year. We're not even done this year's epic collapse, and next year there'll be an epic collapse.
Well, there is a salary cap. I don't see Toronto being in the sweepstakes for Ovechkin if there is one, but we'll see how that plays out. So, round 2.
Maybe
we've already touched on.
Maybe Edmonton will get Ovechkin, right? Edmonton should go after Ovechkin, get rid of the Nuge because the Nuge is gone. Replace Ovechkin.
He's gone.
So I can see a fit there. Ovechkin, McDavid.
No.
Now you're talking a one-line team.
Never happened.
Never gonna happen. You gotta look at teams that have salary cap space that are in win now mode. A team like Carolina would make sense. A team like Florida would make sense. You got some money, made the playoffs. I don't see him leaving the team,
No,
but it'd be interesting to see a guy of his status in the league playing on the same team his whole career and
How-
then deciding
How about
to
Pittsburgh?
leave.
Maybe
That would be
Ovechkin should go
wonderful.
do what he does. Go to Pittsburgh.
yeah, that'd be a good fit.
You know,
Because
I think so.
he's best friends with Malkin.
yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, he's good buddies.
Yeah.
We'll see. So round two, we've kind of touched on a couple of series in the round one recap, but we'll just start at the beginning. The number one series we're all looking forward to, Colorado Vegas. I like Colorado in 6 games. Feel like they can get over the hump this year. And what do you guys think of that series?
It's going to be a barn burner, but I can see, I can just see Colorado win easily. Or it goes 7 games. I don't see 6 game. I don't see it in the series. I
Either.
see they're either gonna win it, or it's gonna be to the brink, and then we'll win it in 7. So I don't know how that's gonna go, but Colorado's a strong team, and that first line, boy, that's every bit as the McDavid one, and maybe better.
see,
What do you think, Jeff?
a few years ago, Calgary could have had Mark Stone, but no, he got traded to Vegas. Calgary sat on the sidelines, number 1 in their conference, and got booted out by the Avs, if we all recall that. This year,
I do.
Mark Stone is going to lead that team through a battle, tough tested 7 games, but the Vegas Knights are going to come forward. They're going to get through this series. They got the best goaltending tandem in the league. I mean, you bump the Colorado goaltender. I mean, they got to pray that nothing bad happens there, because then they're done. But I got Vegas in 7.
It's gonna be a good one.
It's going to be a good series regardless. So I could see it going either way. But yeah, I'm going with the Avalanche here. Okay, so the game 1 of this series happened last night, but I got Boston over the Islanders in 6. Feel like their depth is going to overpower them. What do you guys think of that one?
I believe that the Islanders' outside speed is better than the Boston D. So I'm thinking that the Islanders will win that series in 6. Maybe it has to go 7, but I believe the Islanders will come out on top.
I do agree with Gary there. I mean, the Islanders are fast. They're young. They're tough, right? They took a little bit of a pounding last night, right? I mean, hey, man, I believe they're also watching the epic Leafs collapse last night on the bench. Didn't know that they're actually playing hockey. But I will say one thing, man. You're going back to the old Coliseum for game 3 and 4. They need to at least take one out of Boston. You're going back there, and we're going to be hearing the yes, yes, yes chant every time that Eberle scores, that Nelson scores, that Clutterbuck scores. You know, so I got the Islanders in 7, taking down the Bruins. Moving on.
Well, I'd love to see it.
Oh, we'd all love to see it. We don't like Boston. I'm just being realistic here.
No.
Next series, Tampa versus Carolina. It's going to be a tough one to call. I like Tampa in this with their experience going to the finals and winning last year, getting their players back. They got through Florida without too much injuries or anything like that. So I'm going to take the Lightning in 5 games in this one. Feel like they can just overpower them. So I got 5 for Tampa Bay. What do you guys think?
Well, I think Tampa will win the series, but I think it's got to go 7. It's too close. Too close to call. Probably double overtime point scores in the 7th game.
Yeah, I can see that too. We'll see how it plays out. What do you think,
You know
Hawk?
what? Like I say, right? Karma will get the Lightning. You cannot sit there and say you can't wear a jersey here, can't wear a jersey there. You can't wear a jersey anywhere in Tampa Bay, obviously. I mean, have you been to their dumpy, crappy baseball stadium? Man, they would be proud to have a bunch of Yankee fans in there with the stands with their jerseys on. But you know what? I guess they changed the rule. You can wear, you know what? You can wear a jersey wherever you want now in Tampa Bay. It's too late, man. The hurricanes are coming in. The winds are blowing. You better batten down the hatches because the hurricanes are going to take you down in 6 games.
Okay, I have one question for you then, Jeff. Is there ever lightning during a hurricane?
Oh, there is.
Well,
There is. And it gets stuffed out by that wind.
Yeah,
I thought somebody might go there.
yeah.
Okay, so the last series we'll preview is Winnipeg versus to be determined. So hypothetically,
Oh,
I like Winnipeg over either of the teams left. They've been sitting there, scouting, just getting healthy. Connor Hellebuck is a hell of a goalie. I like their depth. I love how they played Edmonton. I feel like Montreal would give Winnipeg more of a series. So if it's Toronto, I'm gonna take Winnipeg in 5, and if it's Montreal, I'm taking Winnipeg in 7. What do you guys think of the
well,
2 potential matchups?
our co-host DK said something I have never heard, and he said the words, "I like Winnipeg." Apparently, we're not
Yeah.
talking about the weather. So
No, not the weather.
I don't know how that game's gonna go, but I just think whoever wins is losing the next series. So I don't think it matters.
Yeah, agreed.
Man, I've been to
What do you think,
Winnipeg.
Hawk?
They had mosquito. I've been to Winnipeg, and there's a mosquito that sat beside me, grabbed a beer out of my flat of beer I was drinking, cracked it open, looked up, and said, "What up, man? You don't want to mess with Winnipeg. You don't want to mess with mosquitoes. You don't want to mess with anything they have to do in that city." And I mean, they are bound to determine. I mean, they're eventually going to lose to whoever they meet in the semis for the cup. But I'll tell you what, man, Toronto, I would say probably 6 games. But yeah, Montreal, that series will go 7. And there'll be fans in the stands in Montreal. We'll see what Winnipeg does. Probably can't match it. I would be surprised if there's fans in the stands tomorrow. Doug Ford says, "Hey, man, let's just open her up."
Sure.
There are 3 Leaf fans that have been around forever who sat there. I think the last time the Leafs won the cup was when Jesus was walking around with a bag of dirt and said, "Hey, man, I'll make that water into wine." So you know what?
I don't know what
I'm going
he just
Winnipeg.
said, but I was at the game when they won the last Stanley Cup. So if you're talking old geezers, all right.
I believe he said old Jesus. Jesus made water into wine, and they sold it for $11 a glass. We'll get into that at the end.
And you see
We're
Gary.
gonna do get a little story.
That's right. Gary was there. But now it's, I've been to the old Maple Leaf place. I think I sat in the same seat Gary sat, where I had to go buy a loaf of bread because they changed it into a grocery store.
Is that what they did with the garden? They turned it into
It's a grocery store. Yeah.
Nice.
The loaf of bread was
All
7
right.
cents.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
7 cents.
if the Leafs play Winnipeg, I think Winnipeg's going to win, and then they're just going to go on and lose. And if the Leafs play, if the Leafs win, they're just going to go on and lose. And if Montreal plays them, they're just going to go on and lose. So I don't think it matters. Yeah. We're the North.
Well, the North Division would play the winner of the Islanders, Boston. So I don't see Islanders or Boston losing to Winnipeg or Montreal or Toronto. And then you look at Vegas or Colorado. Yeah. Vegas or Colorado would play the winner of Tampa. So I would have Colorado, Tampa, Boston, Winnipeg. as the Final Four.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Vegas
I think
and the
Boston
Hurricanes
Winnipeg would
playing?
be a good series. Yeah, Carolina would end up if they beat Tampa, they'd be playing Colorado or Vegas. A good series.
Yeah, that's all going to be great.
I mean, I honestly think this is the way hockey should go. You reseed for the semis. You're the number 1 seed rolling in the semis. You should play the number 4 seed. But nobody wants to play Carey Price. Just like Pittsburgh last year said they didn't want to play against Carey Price. That's why I got him in our hockey pool.
Yeah, he gets going.
You never know.
Yep.
And here I am, a Habs fan wearing a Leafs jersey.
Yep.
Here I'm a Canucks fan wearing a
just to
Canucks
stir it
jersey.
up. See, that makes a little bit more sense. But
That makes sense.
yeah.
I don't make sense.
So let's I'd like to get a view, we'll call it a view from the other side. Let's I'd like to hear a story of GD's special one, going to Maple Leaf Gardens and watching the Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup, which was their last time they won the cup. 1967.
Yeah, it was the 6th game in 1967. They're playing the Montreal Canadiens. They didn't belong on the same ice as the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal Canadiens just rewrote the record book. And there was the Leafs with Davey Keon. And they won the Stanley Cup. And Toronto has never been the same. It was so awesome. And let's get back to some of those games. Some of those games when they're only 16s, yeah, weren't as good hockey players what we got now. You know what? The game was more exciting. We got a lot of speed, lots of looking penalties, more shots, and of course we had the tie back in those days, so we didn't have overtime and regular season. But you know what? The games were really exciting. I remember them fun. You know, younger people now that are watching hockey now, it's exciting too. It's just different exciting. That's all. But with the equipment,
Oh, it's definitely different.
and it's just, you know what? It's a different game. It's almost comparing the NFL to the NFL. They're both good games, but they're just different. And I don't know, I'm older, remember the excitement of me as a kid. And, you know, I don't take anything away from the young people. But, boy, I just wish that some of them could have experienced what I experienced. Because, boy, I'm telling you, it was special. It was special. When you got up in the morning, back in those days, you got up in the morning and lived in Toronto, you could almost smell in the air that it was hockey. You could just feel that there was this feeling of city that there was a game tonight. I think the same could be said back in Montreal, but yeah, I don't feel that anymore. I don't feel the whole electricity of the fact there's a game tonight. It's excitement, but it's not the same. Anyway, more power to the teams that are playing and the athletes that are playing, because they're all very good. I don't see Jean-Bel David. I'll see that happen. Yeah.
Different eras for sure. But it's pretty interesting to get a view.
Compare thing. Take your mind off of hockey and some of the sports that teams watch and look at individual sports, and particularly look at team sport and see how the times have decreased. And you know, we call the 100 dash, now it's the 100 meter, but how the times have changed, that just shows you the outer period. If you look at a time sport, you'll see how it is. The athletes are better. Period.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Guy Lafleur
There you go.
smoking a cigarette on the
That's
bench.
my
You don't see
take
that
on
anymore.
Oh, no, it's not the same.
Oh, he had a little bit of a Wi-Fi issue there.
Export
Hopefully,
was the major.
you guys overheard that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean,
the two
They're
sponsors
pampered
for
today.
the NFL in 1967 were both named for cigarettes.
and they're pampered today. I
I
mean,
get that.
give me a break, man. I mean, you can't even look at a hockey player. I mean, yes, I get the heckling. Now they're kicking people on basketball, and there should be no. I mean, you don't throw popcorn on a player, but if that was LeBron James getting popcorn thrown on him, he would have been down and out for 3 games. Like, we don't condone fan violence, but and now they're like, well, now the players like saying, well, we shouldn't be heckled. Well, you know what? That's part of playing the game. As long as it's all good trash talk. I mean, I've had some good trash talking games. Yeah, I've had some good trash talk games with players, and you know what? They all laugh. We laugh, right? And at the end of the game, they come over, hey man, that was pretty awesome, right? Because it was all good, clean fun. I know, like Boston fans, you take it way too far, man. Way too far. Utah fans, they're in a different, I don't know what atmosphere they're in, but come on, man. I mean, 3 of them got kicked out for making fun of the kid's mom and stuff, and they're sitting in the stands. You can't do that, And I'll put a challenge out there. If you want to be a fan, you want to trash talk. But see, if you want to trash talk and be a fan, then come on to this show. We'll trash talk, and I guarantee you I'll make you cry by the end of this show. And it'll all be clean fun, because that's the way I roll. That's the way.
Anybody crying?
Yeah. We don't want people to cry on the show. We don't.
No.
So I think we'll probably cut it off here, guys. Appreciate GD Special One joining us today on a special Sunday edition of DTA and the Hawk. You guys have anything you'd like to finish off with before we
very much for
sign off here?
I got something I'm going to say. I don't know if you guys saw the doubleheader against the Yankees when Alex Manoah came out and pitched. They're on, I believe it was Thursday.
Yeah.
And I mean, he even said he could hear his mom and his dad and his family all yelling. That kid is going to be special. You watch. The Blue Jays are going to be rolling. They got a doubleheader against Cleveland. Cleveland didn't want, and this is the thing about Cleveland. Man, you live in a crappy place where the weather is crappy and you don't have a roof over your stadium. And then they're all like, ooh, it's cold in May. Give me a break, man. You build a roof. It ain't football. It's baseball. They can't play in the rain. We all know that. Like, build a damn roof. I will even send you $5 to start to build a roof fund for Cleveland. What a dumpy town that is. The Blue Jays are going to sweep them today.
We'll start a GoFundMe for Cleveland Stadium. We'll start a GoFundMe page. We want no rain delays.com. Password the Hawk.
Right.
Well, it's very simple. All you do is put $5 on a ticket, a purchase ticket, and that $5 goes building a roof. And then when they get enough money roof, they build it.
I agree with that. I need to put a damn roof on the stadium.
Beautiful.
I had to give out all the Hawk rants because I haven't been able to Hawk rant for a while, and there was a bunch today.
Yeah.
And like I say,
that's okay.
Thank you, Gary.
It's been a while.
Coming on the show. Very much appreciate it. Love the stories. You're always welcome back. And same thing with Andy last week. Andy brought his A game where I brought the comic relief. So
2.5 hours of Andy. He was great. So if you haven't watched that, go back, watch it. It's good content. And
good.
Yeah, I think in coming weeks we'll have a CFL preview show. So we'll go through the roster, see who the hell's still on the teams. the Edmonton Elks will be debuting, I think. I don't know if they've actually announced the stupid name yet, but it's probably going to be the Elks.
Well, I
The
know that
Edmonton
the
Trash
preseason for the Argonauts is home to home with Hamilton. Hamilton's a
Nice.
team to beat.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't even know who's on the teams anymore. So we'll have
Gary's
to go through
bold
and
prediction.
take a look.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, I'm
Bold
looking forward to that
prediction.
CFL. I thought that's a good one for the CFL one.
Hey,
Yeah.
I love the CFL, man. On a Friday night, you got to watch football,
Me
have a
too.
couple beers.
Oh, beautiful.
And I will
love
be
the CFL.
reaching out to the one and only Matt Dunnigan to be a guest on this show, and I'm hoping he accepts it. 'Cause that'd be great.
Hopefully.
Matt Dunnigan.
I'm with the
Matt
hamburger.
Dunnigan on the CFL preview show. So we'll try our best to get him,
That'll be good.
and then maybe we can even talk barbecue with the one and only Matt Dunnigan.
Yeah, boy, man, that guy likes to barbecue, man.
All right, we're gonna cut this now.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, and thanks for GD Special One, aka Gary, aka Dad, for joining the show today. And let's just keep your stick on the ice.
That's right. Game 7
Yeah.
tomorrow night, boys.
That's what I
Epic collapse tomorrow night. Love it.
All right. See you later, everybody.